One man, 100 guests, 1,000 drinks. Drinking with Jason.
Hello, freaks. Welcome to Drinking with Jason, episode number 7. This week I am joined by horror author Keith Technical Difficulties Rommel.
Please stand by. We are drinking Yuengling tonight. Yuengling, everybody. Yuengling.
My man. When you emailed me and said you wanted to drink Yuengling, that's my stuff. I grew up not too far from where that factory was, so. I should say I nicknamed him Technical Difficulties because this is our second go-around at this podcast, the first one having died, and then we couldn't get connected to each other for like a half an hour. So we've been drinking the whole time, so I'm going to apologize now for anything I might say by the end of this. It's getting extensive over here, my bottle collection.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I have to say I love your devil horns there. Very fitting.
Thank you very much. I have to keep the persona going, being that we are horror writers, so I figured I'd throw the devil horns on.
It works well.
Thank you.
So, Keith is primarily known right now for his Thanatology series, which is on, what do you got, 4 books?
I have 3 released, yes. I have 4 books. 4th one's coming out this summer.
Okay, great. And the big news is the first one, The Cursed Man, is coming out as a movie in October, which makes me ridiculously jealous of you right off the bat. Just want to get that out of the way. And I'm guessing that's what most people are going to want to hear about, so let's jump right into it. How in the hell did you get a movie made on your book?
Okay, I'm going to give the brief version here. 2011.
Since I've already heard the story.
Yep, so I'm even going to pass some of that. I'm going to get right into it here. 2011, I released the book through Sunbury Press, and it was released relatively quickly. And I sent the book out to get to get reviews out. So I hand selected some reviewers, and with two reviewers, one being blog critics and another one being out of the United Kingdom. And right now, guy's name is Nigel, and I apologize, I forget. Booklore, booklore.uk. And blog critics released a review at the same time, both comparing me to the likes of Stephen King, which is a huge compliment. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
Yep, and that caught the attention of Jim Perry, who's the producer, director / grand poobah, and the rest is history. They started shooting in 2014, and they are currently done with the primary shooting, and they are inserting the VFX, which is the visual effects, and the CGI, which is the mechanical monster. They're putting him in. And after that, then it goes to, I believe they're going to do like an audio, they do like audio editing, and then they do the final edit, and then it gets released, and it's going to be released in theaters in California in October.
Have you gotten to see like a early cut of it?
Yes, I've seen the movie.
And? We happy?
I love it. Yes. Yes.
So how cool is it to see something you wrote on the screen? That's got to be ridiculous.
It is cool. It's believe it or not, it's like a lot of people are like, aren't you jumping out of your skin? And it's not like that. It's actually it's very humbling. And I had the pleasure of meeting Bram Gallagher, who's the lead actor, one of the lead actors that plays the lead role of Alistair, the guy. He thinks this guy is crazy. He's locked inside of an asylum. He thinks that death is in love with him. And to see what Bram did, and then to be able to meet the man and do a book signing with him was really, really nice. I actually went to Pennsylvania because that's where Sunbury Press, my publisher, is out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and it was great meeting him. It was great meeting people and stuff, but it was really, really cool just meeting the. You give me the finger.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's giving me the. This is unbelievable. All right, so but it was really cool meeting him and.
But his name is Bram?
Yeah, Bram.
That is
Bram
badass.
Gallagher. Yeah, Brom got, and he's a real down-to-earth, cool dude. Went to the bar with him, had a couple of drinks, sat down, did a signing with him. He was really appreciative to the people that were, picking up the book, and it's really interesting to hear somebody coming from Hollywood and his extensive background and his skills, and he's thanking me for the story, and it's like I'm thanking him for his performance. So it was kind of
really
like, it was kind of like I was in awe of him. I don't necessarily think that he was in awe of me, but I think that it was nice for him, I guess, for him to meet me, because I'm very underwhelming once you meet me in person. But it was kind of cool, and it was an experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. So come September or October, once Into Galaxy Entertainment, that's the company that's doing the film. Once they release it, I'm going to go there, and I'm there as California, and I'm going to see the film with the CGI and the VFX entered, and all the edits done. There's a lot of talent in there. So for people that haven't familiarized themselves with the film, go to the Internet Movie Database and put in The Cursed Man and look at the people that are in there. For example, Jim Tavar, he's one of the actors. He did Harry Potter.
Damn.
Yeah, you got Ruth Connell, who's in the WB Supernatural. Rowena is her character. She's extremely popular. Beautiful woman, very, very popular. Great job in the movie. And people behind the scenes, you have an Emmy Award-winning editor that edited the film. That's Neil Mendelberg. You have the guys that did the CGI and special effects that did Cabin in the Woods. They did
Jesus.
Mighty Joe Young, Green Lantern, The Matrix, Madagascar, Deja Vu with Denzel Washington. So there's some huge names in this film, and a lot of the huge names are behind the scenes, but the guys that are in front of the camera do just as well as the people behind the camera, the people with, the Green Lantern movie, you and I discussed before that we're both kind of comic nerds and stuff like that. So,
what are you talking about?
I don't see anything there.
No, not at all.
So, it'll be interesting, and I hope that people go out and see it and enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it, and then writing the screenplay too. So it was cool.
So there's actual talent involved in this. I just figured if it was on your book, they're gonna have strippers and hire guys.
Yeah, but there's not.
Hunter warned you beforehand I was a douche. So.
Oh, he said ask him if he's a douche. But what do you call it? It's and I have this. I wish I had it available. I don't have it available because I'm getting ready to do a signing in Cocoa Beach on Saturday. So I have it all out in my car ready to go. I start packing early. And what I did is I started creating like a wall of fame for all the actors and the actresses that are involved, and I have all their their professional headshots, and I got it signed.
Wow.
So
That's
all
really
the
neat.
people that are involved, I got their picture, and I got it signed off, and so I got this wall of fame that I'm putting up, and I got these posters and all these things that the producer gave to me. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. Before we continue, am I a slideshow for you? Do I look okay? No, I'm not moving that
Well,
much.
I mean, for a guy, I guess you look okay.
Son of a bitch. Okay, you're going in and out a little bit. You sound fine though, so it doesn't really matter. Nobody needs to
And
look
like I said,
good.
I'm very underwhelming to look at, so that's okay for people.
Did you have anything to do with the production? Did you get to help with the story or script or anything, or did you just hand them a book?
co-wrote the screenplay with the producer.
Really? Now, how did you get that? Did you stipulate it in the contract up front?
No, we spoke about that as things were progressing. Jim and I spoke about that. Jim is, again, he's the producer, he's the director, he's the man of many trades. Great guy. He just, he told me, he says, I'm going to make you a screenwriter by the time I'm done with you. But he didn't know that I don't think that he knew that I actually have screenwriting. I know how to screenwrite. I took courses by myself, not through like a college or anything, or I just took courses and I learned how to write a screenplay. And when we were getting down and dirty, he wrote the first draft, I wrote the second draft, he wrote the third draft, and then it went back and forth. And then I think at the sixth draft that I got, he said to me, cut it down to 130 pages or less. So I was like, okay, pick and choose the scenes that go. And that's what I did.
Sure, if you're over that, you're getting into a really long movie.
Well. And they still cut from there, because he's got to make decisions as far as budget goes and time goes and stuff like that. So it's an interesting process to see. So I was actually seeing the scenes as they were coming out, because he was sharing it with me on a private network, and I was viewing the scenes, and I was kind of checking our screenplay and seeing what the actors were doing and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see. And again, it's not like this. Oh my God, they're turning this thing into a film. It's a business. You're looking at it as okay. How are they doing as far as, are they keeping to the story? And I'll be honest with you, there's times that I watched and I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's you're looking at your work up there and you're going, and then afterwards you go, yes, they got it, and that's really cool, and I just got to say, there's these scenes where Bram is inside the crazy room, and if you haven't seen the crazy room, this room is just like, it's like this room that's like gray, and it's got like this rocky, crappy floor and this nasty ass bed that he sleeps in. And Bram is dressed in like all this ratty clothes and stuff, and he's just crazy. He's out of his mind, and his drawings all over the wall that he did. And Dean Williams did that. Dean Williams is the guy that did a lot of the set props and stuff like that, the set designer. He's a awesome artist. I really appreciate his work, and he just captured the essence of Alistair's crazy head onto the walls in the room. And I just remember this one part, like where Alistair, he believes death is in love with him, and he believes that anybody that talks to him dies within 24 hours, and he's stuck inside this room and he can't get out. The psychologist comes in and is saying to him, this is all in your mind and you can get outside. So and in his mind, he hasn't been outside in 20 plus years and so on and so forth. So she's trying to get him outside, and she gives him a minute to try and get the courage up to walk outside the room that he's been locked inside, this padded room, but it's not really padded, but Bram does this great job of like where he's really struggling to figure out whether or not he can get out of this room. And I just remember this part where he's just like, they got close up of his eyeballs and he's like crazy, and then all of a sudden he was running across the room and he goes, ah! into the camera, and you're just like, man, I get goosebumps, and I'm like, I didn't write that in the screenplay, I didn't write that in the book. That's Bram that did that, and he captured the essence, and it was really cool.
So he just ad-libbed that?
Yeah, so that's the actor when they're on set and they're into the character. Because what we did was, myself, Bram, and Jim had a video conference, and during this video conference, Bram was asking me questions that I hadn't even thought of. And he's like, so why did you have Alistair have a wife and kid that the wife kills the kid? Why did you do that? So he's like trying to get into my psychology of why I did it. Mm-hmm. But here it is, 2014. I wrote this thing I finished it in 2010. In the meantime, I wrote 3 or 4 more books. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then Jim comes in, the producer comes in, and he's like, he answers the question. I'm like, this guy actually knows the book better than I do at this point.
That's hilarious. I just went through the exact same thing. One of my books was optioned, and the screenwriter was asking me questions about, well, why did you do this? What does this mean? It's like, dude, I wrote that shit 3 years ago. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
You're like, wait a minute. You're like, I wrote that?
Yeah. I just said, do what you're gonna do. I don't even know what you're asking me. So yeah, that's funny. I just think that's incredible that you had something made, particularly
Yeah.
right out of the gate like this. Most people, if they can get a movie made on a book, they probably have like 20 or 30 novels out there.
Yeah, this is Lawrence is the owner of Sunbury Press, and him and I were talking about the odds of this happening, and it's really slim. I know books get optioned, but getting optioned and then actually seeing your film come to life is two completely different things.
Yeah, I just
So,
optioned one this week, which meant I made a little
congrat
money and nothing will ever happen with it.
but you don't know that, and congratulations, and it's like I always say to any other writer and stuff is just take those successes and put them in your pocket and keep going, because it's like I was talking to Hunter Shea yesterday on the phone,
That piece of
and
shit.
we, yeah, oh my, I don't know,
What an
Montauk
asshole that guy
Monster,
is.
Island of the Forbidden. He'll never watch this, so we could really talk shit about him if we want.
Oh yeah,
But
he and that loser,
we were
that loser
talking,
partner of his. Sorry, go ahead.
Jack.
Yeah.
But now where the hell was I? We were talking
Sorry.
about something, and
About
I don't.
movies getting optioned and taking that and putting it in your pocket like that's a success.
Yeah, and like as writers, and you could probably validate this or vouch for it, is that as a writer you come up with goals, and your goal is to get published. Your goal is to get a good review. Your goal is to sell 25 copies of your book. Well, as you achieve these goals morph. So what I found is, like with a lot of people, such as yourself, you're optioning a movie and stuff like that. I optioned the movie. I saw the movie filmed. My ultimate thing is to see the movie do well. Of course, I want it to be a very well done movie. I want it to represent my work in the proper light. Um, but our goals as writers, we morph as we hit certain obstacles. We're like runners that are hitting hurdles as we go. Correct?
Sure.
So as you complete your next novel, that novel is behind you and being edited, and you're already starting to look to your next novel. I have a movie going on. I'm already, I am still very engaged with the movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at what are my future projects? Where am I going? Where am I going from here? What is my next project? What are my next ideas? What can I bring to life? What can I bring to this, to the audience that would be unique and fresh
Well, sure.
and
That's the only way
help
you can pay
us?
your bills. You got to always have something in the pipeline.
Yeah, yeah, you always have to have something in the pipeline. And the one thing that I am doing, I will tell you, is I'm taking the month of April off as far as writing goes, and I'm going to promote my new novel that I told you that we would touch briefly on, which is The Devil Tree, um,
Which just
which is
sounds like the coolest concept.
it is really cool. I don't want to give too much away. I've kind of kept things under wraps, but it's a legend here in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where I live. Um, and all I can tell you is I've been to the Devil Tree, and its appearance in the daytime holds up to the legend. It is really cool. It's creepy. The story is cool. The story is creepy. Um, and I look forward for people seeing it. You're burping. I heard that. You burped.
Is the cough burp? I'm drinking a lot of goddamn beer right now, man.
Listen, listen. If you're gonna burp, you just got to let it fly into the mic at this point. All right. I'm just
I
saying.
might end up here in the next couple minutes. What
I
is the
don't
release
want.
date of the upcoming book?
Say that again.
What's the release date of your book coming up, The Devil Tree?
Excuse me, May 1st, and I just did a stint with the Monster Men, and they'll be releasing just like this here. They'll be releasing a podcast that strictly has to do with the Devil Tree on May 1st. I'm also doing an extensive blog tour, and I'll be doing some local radio and newspapers and getting the word out on the Devil Tree. So
Yeah, it
really,
sounds like a
really
really
interesting.
interesting idea.
Yeah, it's I've always had these, like what you said, the thanatology idea where it's 4 books. And to me, by the way, I always got to plug The Lurking Man. And The Lurking Man is the 2nd book in the series. And The Lurking Man is, and I was talking again with Kevin and I talking yesterday, and we were talking about stripping my name off of that book because people don't know who Keith Rommel is. See, that's what happened.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all right. So people don't know who Keith Rommel is, right?
Sure.
My name off of it. I told Hunter, and Hunter told me, and we were talking. I said, Hunter, take The Lurking Man book and stick it against any of the powerhouses out there. People wouldn't know that I wrote this. I mean, this book, The Lurking Man, to me is the most underlooked, overlooked, past book that I've done, and I don't understand because it is so solid. And I don't know if you have a work that you really, really, that you've clung to, but The Lurking Man is almost like the Eagles put out the Hotel California. Are they ever going to do the Hotel California again? No. And again, they have the sales to back it up. I don't. But I have the love and the passion for that particular body of work that I say to people, if you want to read something that's going to knock you really and send your brain for a freaking whoa, that's The Lurking Man, which is the 2nd book in the Thanatology series. And the unique thing about that book is it can be read first. It doesn't have to be read before The Cursed Man.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm seeing it here now. That's a black cover, red letters.
Black cover. And the black cover, although it's very underwhelming when you look at it, it has very significant meaning when you read the book.
Sure.
And that particular novel is about my mother.
Really?
And it's dark. Yeah, it's dark as hell, and it's just good.
Hey, Mom, this is about you. It's evil.
Mom, yeah, she knew because I was interviewing her for it and stuff. And man, it's a powerhouse, man. If I had to say, if anybody ever said to me, with the exception of the DevilTree right now, because I'm really excited about the DevilTree, but if anybody said to me, what is one book of yours that I should read that would make me a fan of yours, it would be The Lurking Man. Okay. And if anybody reads that book and doesn't like it, look at the ratings on Amazon. Look at the ratings on Goodreads. Anybody that reads that book goes, holy crap, death personified like this is amazing. So there was a lot of thought that went into it. I wrote it really, really quick. I wrote that book in a year. So that for me is quick. But I want to tell you that I wrote the DevilTree in 35 days.
Damn. That's pretty quick, man, for writing a novel.
35 days. You see these horns? Devil.
Well, apparently you've got that from your mother, from what you've been saying.
Indeed. Maybe I can get a good book going again.
I just clicked on The Sinful Man. The Lurking Man is the one you're saying. Okay, yes. I got it here. All right, I will definitely check that out.
That book, I'm telling you, that book is a kick in your, depending upon your gender. It's cool. It's real cool.
I'll definitely have to check that one out. I'm looking forward to that. I'll check that out, and I'm looking forward to the this DevilTree book. The idea you were telling me before we started recording was really interesting.
Yeah, you want to know something? I want to go into that, if you don't mind. I want to go into that a little bit more. The DevilTree is going to be released as a premium hardback.
Spiffy son of a bitch.
Yeah, with a dust jacket. No paperback in this. If you buy the premium hardback, May 1st, it's going to be available. If you buy the hardback, you get the free Kindle download with it. Nice.
I don't understand why more publishers don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, you're going to spend, $29.99, I believe, $29.95 for the premium hardback. I've seen the premium hardbacks because The Cursed Man, The Lurking Man, and The Sinful Man, the Thanatology series, is all available in trade paperback and hardback. And the hardbacks are limited edition, first print to 500 copies, So they made it a collector's item. So once that 500 copies goes, then they turn it on and it goes to Amazon, and then anybody can get that copy. You can get the first print off of sunburypress.com. And Sunbury Press is spelled S-U-N-B-U-R-Y press.com. If I have to spell press, then we're in trouble.
I think you're overestimating the intelligence of my audience. They read me after all. You said Sunbury Press is up in Pennsylvania, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. And
Where
I was
at?
in Mechanicsburg.
Okay, that's actually not that far from where I'm at.
Yeah, and they have a
Maybe
store
an hour
there,
and a half.
Sunbury Press store. And just so you know, if you want to get involved, I know you said you haven't been out too much. I will invite you in Lawrence's stead. Lawrence is the owner of Sunbury Press. If you want to come to the Sunbury Press bookstore, we're going to have Hunter Shea there and myself. And if you would like to come, Mr. Jason, you can come and
When is
sign
this?
some books, bring some books. We're going to come up with a date. And if you're interested in doing this, we'll nail down a date. And you know, I'm all about getting horror authors together, you know, and just sell books, meet people, have a good time, you know. And
Sounds like a
it's
win to me. Besides, I've been looking to get my hands around that fucking Hunter Shea's neck, so
oh man, he's got a thick neck. Be careful, man. He's got a thick neck.
I have
You know,
long but skinny arms, so I can wrap it around.
Yeah, he's got skinny arms, and it's really weird because he has like he's got calloused wrists. It's not even calloused hands. His wrists are calloused. What is that about?
Well, I don't know how this turned into the shitting on the Monster Men episode, but I love it.
All right, Hara. He's gonna kill us.
Oh man. So
He's gonna be like, Keith, I'm not releasing this Monster Man episode, you bastard. I am not doing it.
right. It's gonna be your face superimposed in some gay porn video or something.
With a big pile of crap in front of it.
So you said you released the Lurking... No. God damn it, I'm getting my names mixed up. You have this naming convention that makes it great. The Lurking Man, Sinful Man, Cursed Man, but I'm getting them mixed up in my head.
Okay, the Sinful Man is... I'm sorry. So you have the Cursed Man, which is book 1, the Lurking Man, which is book 2, the Sinful Man, which is book 3, and the Silent Woman, which is book 4.
Okay, which is not
The
out.
Silent... Correct. It's done. It's been with the publisher now for 2 months, but we decided to, because of my ambition behind this Deviltree project, has been so aggressive that they've never seen me like this before. So they took the Silent Woman and they pushed it to summer, and they wanted to make the Deviltree the forefront of, you know, because that's where my passion is right now.
Sure.
You know,
Which is
and like I
one
said,
of the nice things about working with a small press as opposed to a bigger publisher is they can get it out in a month.
yes, you know, and even Hunter said, he goes, "Damn, Keith, that's aggressive." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, man, I'm feeling this one. I'm after this one big time." So,
That's really fast. I mean, I don't even work with a publisher, and by the time I finish my last draft, it's still 2 weeks till I release. So
Yeah,
you're really
yeah.
not far behind. That's pretty incredible.
So I heard from the editor today. I've been speaking back and forth with her. I have a particular editor, this woman named Jen, that I absolutely go crazy for because she edited my Thanatology series, and she knows my writing style and she knows what I look for. So I was talking to Lawrence and I said, Lawrence, I'd really like Jen to do this. And he's like, she's available. I'm like, all right, let's do this, you know. And he agreed to this very aggressive timeline. And it's really cool, like what you said, working with a smaller press. It's really cool to be able to get the owners behind you and to get the excitement with them, with you behind a project.
Absolutely.
You know, so this Deviltree is something that I heard about it. I went and visited the tree. I wrote an outline. I wrote the book. I sent the book to Lawrence. Lawrence sent me back some suggestions. I banged out those suggestions, took what he said into consideration and made some changes, and then off to the editor it went. And we're going to see the release May 1st. And if people go to keithrommel.com, they can sign up for my newsletter, and I will send them a message and let them know, hey, here's the link. It's released. Here's the link, and away we go.
Hell yeah, that's fantastic, just to get that out so quickly.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask was, you said you finished The Cursed Man in 2010, is that right?
That's correct. Yep. It took me 5 years to write that book.
So that was your first published book. That was the first piece of work you put out there?
Yeah, and I belong to the critiquecircle.com, which is just what it sounds like. It's a writers group, and you go underneath an alias and you post things, and people critique your work, and they kind of help you along. And I think that website is really responsible for helping me find my voice, because you know that you got to find a voice.
Sure. Mine is snarky douchebags.
I heard about the douchebag.
That's not an exaggeration either. My characters are like the biggest smartasses ever.
But that's cool, because you're giving the characters either likability or irritability, or because there's characters that your fan bases are either going to love, they're going to sympathize with, or they're going to hate. And if you're douchebags, hey, who doesn't know a douchebag? I know a lot of douchebags.
Yep, me too. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You said that they helped you find your voice.
Yeah. So this website, the Critique Circle, I was posting pieces of this particular novel, The Cursed Man, and what ended up happening, actually, I really don't get into this too often, is my old man passed away, and I was real close with my dad, and he passed in front of me, and it was a very difficult time for me. And he was a big supporter of my writing, and he always used to say to me, "When are you going to get that book published? When are you going to get that book published?" And I was just like, I write for fun. I don't write it for the sport or the business, And after he passed away, I kind of went dark 30. I stopped writing. I kind of lost my passion. My heart was broken. I was trying to find myself again. And then I get a random email from somebody in this critique group, and he goes, underneath my alias, he goes, where is the rest of the pieces of this book that you've been posting? And I said, man, I stuck that in a drawer and I'm done with it. And the guy or girl, whoever this person was just like, you're making a mistake. That's a sellable book. So that kind of put me on the path to the publication. And then if I kind of look at the series of events that happened, I looked for publication. I got the attention of some agents. The agents kind of, pushed me off to the side after 6 months of messing around and having my work, and then I send books out to these reviewers, and then I find Sunbury Press in the process, and then these reviews start coming in, and then what was it, 7 months later or something like that, Jim comes in and he starts telling me that he has my book and he wants to turn it into a movie. It's just, to me, it's the progression of events that was supposed to take place.
Wow. So whoever was on that website and told you that was a sellable book, do you send him paychecks?
I actually don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, because I had long ago, that was 2010, and I take it's like my inbox on my Gmail account. If a fan or somebody sends me an email and I answer it, I delete it so that I know that it's complete. It's almost like that's how I do my checklist, is I keep my inbox very clean. Same thing with my account when I was really active on the Critique Circle. I'm still active, but I do more of the blogs, and I don't do as much as the posting, because now that I have the publisher behind me, and they kind of read my stuff, and they say either, hey Keith, this is good and it's marketable and we can sell this, or this is crap and we're not doing this. So I don't really have to do that anymore, you know. And a lot of times I'll bounce the idea off of the publisher before I'll even write it and see if they're interested in it. So
Have you approached any other publishers except for Sunbury?
I have not. And I will tell you that I'm very, very comfortable with Sunbury Press. I'm very comfortable with what they've offered me, what they provide for me.
Wow, that was a pretty good answer, considering I just totally put you on the spot without meaning to.
Yeah, no, and it's true. I mean, and if I'm coming out with an answer like that, devil horns or not, it's true. Trust me.
Yeah, that's great. I don't remember. I might have actually heard of them when I saw you on the Monster Men, and then I saw they were somewhere up in PA, and thought I should run up there sometime just to check it out.
And Lawrence, the owner, I hear dogs. Lawrence, the owner, was really, and no, that's not an ex-girlfriend. Lawrence, the owner, was
not an ex. That's my wife. She doesn't watch these.
Good thing for you.
Yeah, she could kick the shit out of me. It's a really good thing for me. You're saying the owner of the press?
He's just a cool guy. He's really down to earth. You know, very smart businessman. You know, makes business decisions because obviously he has to be profitable and stuff. But he stands behind his authors, and when he believes in you, he really invests in you. You know, and just Lawrence is really a good guy, and they go through. He said something on the Monster Men the other night, like they do 1,000 manuscripts. They get like over 1,000 manuscripts pitched to them a year, and they do. It's like they publish like 75, and most of them are from like myself, such as authors as myself that has multiple books through them.
Sure.
So the ratio of them picking up a new author is very small, which is good because that means that they're checking out their product, they're making sure that it's quality. I got a perfect. No, I just did.
Usually you say that before. Yeah, buddy. I love doing this show.
And I got to tell you something. You should have heard me when I was trying to sign on. When I was trying to sign on before, and we were getting all this lag, and I was getting kicked off online, and I'm going to this Mac, and I'm getting pissed off, and I'm like, and I'm not like that. I'm normally like a calm guy, and I'm kind of like, damn it, this thing is pissing me off, and and I'm like, we're not going to be able to do this show tonight. And,
I was waiting so long. I think when you came in, I was like sitting like this, just like staring at my screen.
You awake? You there?
Yeah, I was pounding so many beers, I was getting tired.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you something. After this one, I'm done. You got to cut me off, bartender. All right?
Yeah, we got a little bit here to go, so. I did want to nerd out a little bit. You were telling me you're a big nerd. Are you keeping up on all these Marvel movies?
Yeah, I keep up on the Marvel. I'm so much a nerd that I actually read the comic books.
See, I have a gigantic collection of comic books, but I have not kept current in the last 10, 12 years probably.
Ooh, I have. That's how nerdy I am. I have.
Oh. Well, yeah, you're beating me then. So, because you're a comic nerd, are you happy with these movies and what they've been able to do? I mean, it's kind of an incredible time.
I love like the Avengers. I love the original Spider-Man takeoff. Spider-Man's my favorite character as far as Marvel goes. I'm not real crazy about the new stuff with Spidey. It's just to me, it's just rehashed stuff over and over again.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like. I want to do a comparison the way that I see it, okay? Like I'm into heavy metal or progressive rock, okay? And with that said, it's like my favorite band is Rush. It's like how many times can I hear them play? How many times can I hear them play Tom Sawyer Live? Seriously. Stop rehashing the same thing over and over again and tell me a friggin' story that's new. And that's how I feel like with the Spider-Man line. I'm almost kind of like, I'm kind of done with that. You know, I'm like, I'm
I guess when I
over
was
it.
saying Marvel, I was thinking more of the stuff Marvel's actually producing themselves, because to me that's blown away the properties they've sold.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Well,
like
who
Thor,
did
I
that?
remember.
Sony?
Yeah, Sony's Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just too over the top. Too, it's again rehashed stuff.
Before we get into the Marvel-produced movies, since you're a Spider-Man guy, what was your favorite Spider-Man movie out of the 5?
I have to tell you, I love the character Venom,
Mm-hmm.
so I was really looking forward to Spider-Man 3 with Venom,
I was too. So pissed.
and I think it was a big letdown. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm probably gonna have to go with the first one because I was really excited with the first Tobey Maguire and the whole hype around it and
That was 2000 now? God, was that
yeah, what was
15
that?
years
That was
ago?
Doc
Holy
Ock, right?
shit. Doc Ock was 2.
He was two. Who was one? Was that no? I thought
That was the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 Green Goblin. So that
I
which
think 2
which
might have been my favorite. I mean, I love 1 and 2. That's like 1A and 1B to me, but the
right.
Doc Ock one was pretty cool.
But the one thing that I'll say about the Sony properties is at least they kill Gwen Stacy. Like they do in the comic books. When Spidey shoots the line down, and he stops her short, and you just hear the crack, and you just know that she's dead, and he's just lowering himself down to her, and I was just like, finally. I mean,
Sure.
somebody captures the essence of that moment, which is to me very huge in the Spidey universe as far as what defines him as a character.
You're killing it, man. You know what has become interesting to me again? I grew up like reading comic books in the 90s when the X-Men and Wolverine were like everywhere.
Yeah.
And so when X-Men 1 and 2 came out, it was just amazing to me. And then X-Men 3 came out.
It started losing its. I see. That's where I agree with you. I think it started losing its fire. It started losing its punch. The Daredevil. I felt that was very weak. I didn't like Daredevil. Elektra was
Oh, it
just
was
a flop.
terrible.
It was. You want to capture the essence of a character, and I know we're talking Marvel, but I want to switch gears. You want to capture an essence of a character. Heath Ledger.
Oh,
He
God.
fucking kills the Joker, man. I mean, like, that is the Joker incarnate right there. And, like,
Yep.
when he passed, I'm like, man, at the prime of his career, this guy just freaking...
I felt robbed because we couldn't see more of that. Like, I really felt robbed. Yeah.
That is exactly my thoughts right there. I felt robbed. I felt like, no! Why? Finally, somebody that just took the Joker and took him for what he was.
Yep.
And really, and I'm not undermining Jack Nicholson because, what was that in the 80s, 90s?
Yeah, it was like 89, which also was a great performance, but it didn't have
but it just,
scary
they
factor.
really captured the essence of the new Batman, the Dark Knight, however you want to put him. He's a dark character, and the Joker is just nuts. The Joker's crazy, and to me, Heath Ledger I watched that movie, and I was just like, man, this is freaking... That to me, I'll have to say, is probably the best comic book adaptation movie ever made.
Yeah, for me, it's either The Dark Knight or The Avengers. Like, I'm not gonna complain about either one. I was so
You want
happy
to know
walking out of both of those.
You want to know what I have to tell you about the Avengers? I was absolutely traumatized. Traumatized when the Hulk picks up Loki and just goes bam, 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 bam. I went, holy crap, what did he just do?
That was a really great scene.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, they just did that in the movie? Holy cow.
Speaking of, when you're talking about Heath Ledger, actors who've really nailed the role, to me, that has also been Hugh Jackman with Wolverine, but he hasn't always been given the best material. So, like, the Wolverine movie was terrible. Just
Yeah, I didn't. I actually never finished that movie. I
it was
agree.
so bad, but man, he really crushes that character. Like that guy gets it. He just
Everything. I mean,
yeah.
everything from his diet to the way that he trained his body to the way that he portrays the character. But unfortunately, it's like some of the storyline, like you said, is a tad bit weak.
Did you see the latest X-Men movie, Days of Future Past?
I shut it off.
Oh, you didn't finish that?
No.
It gets really cool. It's one of the few time travel movies that doesn't super piss me off. What made you shut it off?
Um, I'm so familiar with the Marvel universe. I've been, since I'm probably 10 years old, I've been in the Marvel universe. So if something's not over the top exciting me, I'm just, I don't want to take the wind out of the sails, but I need to be excited by something. I need to
Um,
be
you're gonna at least want to watch the post-credit sequence because it
okay.
leads into the movie coming out. I think it's next year or the year after, X-Men Apocalypse, which I'm like nerdgasming all over my house over that one.
Well,
So
I'm nerdgasming over. Have you read Civil War? Because that's coming out.
yes,
Have
yes,
you read this? Have you read the storyline Civil War?
yes. But that was a good 10, 12 years ago now, right?
Oh, I think it was.
15, might have even been
Something.
longer.
Listen, I'm a guy. I have no concept of time. I don't know. To me, I'm still 20. I don't know.
I read it a
Um,
long time ago. There's some crazy shit that
to
happens.
me,
So
that was like because Joe Quesada became president of Marvel Comics, and to me, that was like his major. That was like the major achievement to me. It was like Civil War. You got Captain America against Iron Man. I mean, how
hell
much
yeah.
better does it get than that? That to me is like, bam. Oh, and now they're showing. I seen some things where the Age of Ultron is coming out too.
Yeah, that's the new Avengers movie, isn't it? Ultron.
I I thought Ultron was maybe it is, but it's man. I read
God, we're
that too.
fucking nerding so hard right
Yeah,
now.
everything's yeah. I'm a little bit hazy right now. Sorry, people. Um,
I just looked. Civil War was 9 years ago.
9 years ago. Okay.
No, I was thinking it was even longer than that.
But that was a phenomenal. I mean, I can remember each time that a comic came out. That's like I was really nerding out because I was like running to the comic book store to get the next chapter in that series. And I was even getting the offshoots because I don't know if you how in depth you got into that. They actually did it from a reporter's point of view too, and they called it Civil War Frontline.
No, didn't read
See,
that
I'm
one.
getting really nerdy on you now.
Yeah,
And
you're
what it
you're
is, the
going
front
super
line.
nerd.
Yeah, super nerd right here. And what they did is the front line was like this reporter that was like witnessing the heroes fighting and for the registration and for anybody that's interested in it, it's cool. It's Captain America doesn't believe that superheroes should be registered. Iron Man believes that superheroes should be registered because of the damage and stuff that they cause, and they should be held responsible. And Captain America is like, no, people are entitled to their privacy, even though they're superpowers and stuff like that. So it's a real cool storyline, and just to see how Iron Man gathers these people, Captain America gathers these people. Of course, Spider-Man goes on the side with Captain America because Spider-Man wants to protect his identity. So it's most
Speaking
of
of
the.
that, have you heard Spider-Man is going to be in this?
Is he?
Marvel made a deal with Sony so that Spider-Man will be in the Civil War series. How crazy is
Oh,
that shit?
that is. Something? Hats off to Sony for doing that because he belongs there.
I'm sure they got a couple pounds of silver for that
Oh,
one.
I'm sure, but I'm sure they'll get their pounds of silver out of the frickin' out of nerds like me and you that go to see this movie and people that are paying a premium to see it. So
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm all over that shit.
yeah, hell yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Civil War comes out. I'm like to the movie theater.
As a slight pivot here, as a horror author, are you big into horror movies?
Um, I'm into. I have to tell you, nowadays. I'm more into shows. I'm more into TV shows. I love the following.
Absolutely.
Um, I
Anything Kevin
do.
Bacon does is amazing.
He's amazing. In fact, I'm halfway through that 2 hour episode because I have it on DVR. Um, I watch a lot of.
I totally just tried to hold a burp and did not work at all.
Yeah, you got to let that fly. Um, so I do a lot of ghost shows. I like Ghost Adventures. I like the show called The Dead Files on the Travel Channel.
Hmm.
That's the stuff that I like. I like the stuff that most people can't watch really late at night. I do by myself, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm watching the stuff because I can't sleep. I have insomnia, whatever. Um, but horror movies, yeah, I'll go see horror movies, but I tend to lean into the horror shows because, as a writer, you find yourself to be extremely busy.
Hmm.
Um, uh, I don't know if people understand how much. I think some people do, but some people don't understand how much work actually goes into a novel.
Yeah, we
You
work so fucking hard getting hammered on the internet. This is the worst. I hate my job.
Yeah, I hate my job. We're over here drinking and just talking, but but when it comes down to it, and you're rolling up your sleeves and you're getting busy and you're working, it's a lonely experience. And then the interactive experience happens. Like to me, this 35 days that I put into this devil tree, I have to tell you something. I was like un- I wasn't even in touch with the world. I was working so much. I was writing 10, 11, 12, 13 hours a day to get
Jesus.
this book down. But to me, the payoff is when it comes out and I start speaking to people and I start seeing the reviews. Of course, if they're positive reviews, I take negative reviews and I take them into consideration. But you got to have thick skin because not everybody's going to love your stuff, as you know, as a writer. Not everybody's
I
going to
have no
come in
idea
and
what you're
say,
talking about. I get
yeah,
absolutely no scathing reviews at all about my intelligence or.
I doesn't know how to punctuate. Hold
uh,
on a second. Hold on.
oh.
Do I know how to punctuate now? Oh, I'm back to being mean again.
But yeah, how many words did this novel end up being?
How many words did the Devil Tree end up being?
Hmm.
43,000.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the reason being is because you have a very specific, there's a very specific story, a legend. So to stay true to the legend, I have to keep, although my story is fiction, I stay true to the legend in many instances. I'm going to throw something else out there about the Devil Tree. Um, what a lot of people don't know is the Devil Tree was actually given an exorcism.
Did you told me before you didn't want to go into too much? Are you?
I know,
How
but
many beers deep are we?
I'm just throwing little teasers out there.
All
That it was
right, man.
given that the tree was given an exorcism. How many trees do you know that was given an exorcism?
I don't even know who the hell would attempt to do that. That's really
Well,
interesting to me.
they gave the tree an exorcism, literally, fact.
That's crazy.
And when you go to this tree, I got to tell you something. This tree is like hulking. It's huge. I mean, the freaking trunk of this thing. And when I shoot this little documentary that I'm going to be releasing on May 1st, I'm not a very big guy. I'm a relatively small guy, and over my shoulder, I remember shooting this thing and saying to you that as I was walking to the tree, that I was testing my camera and I was doing some test shots, and I got over to the tree, and then the camera didn't work, and I don't like to be, over the top. Uh, you know, do I look too much into it? Not really. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the camera malfunctioned. I reset the thing. It worked. I shot the documentary. I walked away. But I do mention it in the documentary that, hey, On my way here, I tested the gear. It was fine. I got to the DevilTree. I went to hit record, and the thing just wouldn't react. It just wouldn't work.
It's a weird situation when you're.
Yeah, so it's
looking at
weird. I
something
mean,
weird.
it just goes hand in hand. So if you read the history on the DevilTree, it just fits right in hand with it. Does that have something to do with the DevilTree? I don't know. Let people believe what they want. I know what I was there, what I did. I don't do it to hype anything up. I don't make a big deal about it. I'm trying not to make a big deal about it now. But it was just an event that happened, that occurred, and and I'm going to tell it like it is. But this tree is hulking. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. I can't even get across to people how big this thing is until you're standing underneath it and you're looking at this thing. And you're looking at all these axe wounds in this tree, and the burn marks, and all the cement patch, and I'm not going to go into why all these things are on the tree. People have to read the book about that. But this tree has been through, no pun intended, this tree has been through hell. So also in the documentary, I ask people that if they go to visit the tree and they actually find it, to not mark it up, don't desecrate the tree. Leave the tree alone. The tree it's a tree.
Or you might die.
Right. I am your father.
All right, holy shit, we need to wrap this up. We've been drinking for hours now. Keith, give us where we can find all your stuff. Website, Twitter, Facebook.
Facebook, there's actually 2 Facebook accounts I'd like to mention. One is the Cursed Man Community. It's an open community to everybody to join. You can actually ask the actors that are a part of the movie any sorts of questions. They'll answer your questions. You could ask the producer. They're all involved. They're all a part of the site. So it's the Cursed Man Community on Facebook. Also, you have Keith Rommel, the Thanatology author, Facebook page. And just so people know, Thanatology is the study of death and dying and the practices associated with it. It sounds really dark. Right. It sounds really dark. It is, but in the books, it's not. It's really hard to explain. You kind of got to get your nose into it and see what it is. And my regular website is www.keithrommel.com. That's KEITHROMMEL.com.
All right.
They can sign up for a newsletter there, and I will promise not to bombard them with emails, just some of my upcoming releases or news about the movie that's coming out in October.
I'm dying to see this movie, and I'm really interested in reading about this DevilTree now. The more I hear about it, the more interesting it sounds.
Yeah, this DevilTree is I actually became obsessed with this thing. Actually, seriously, where I thought I had a problem. I was obsessed with it.
Well,
I was like,
I'm pretty sure you've got problems, but I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, you know that now.
All right, Keith, appreciate you being on, and we'll try to get you on
Thank you.
again maybe around the time your movie's coming out, or if you got another novel coming out this summer. That'd be great. This has been a blast.
Awesome.
And it's not just because I drank a 6-pack.
And listen, also, I was serious on what I said to you. If you're interested in getting out and you want to go to Pennsylvania, maybe you could join myself and Hunter.
Hell yeah, man.
For a signing and a night on the town, and I did this about a year ago, and then you go to the Sunbury Press bookstore, you do a signing, and then you go right across the street to the bar, and we just mingle with people. And it's just a lot of fun, and you get some authors, and you get some, some fan people, and just regular people, and we just all, we're all just regular people, but we all just get together and we hang out and we have a good time,
Well,
So
we're all regular people except for Hunter, so sounds good.
Well, it's those calloused wrists.
Calloused wrists. All right, Keith.
I'm gonna
You're
have
a
to put
fucking
that in
man.
the story. I don't know, man. Thank you,
I'll
Jason.
get on to it. Thank you, buddy.
Take care.
See you.